in the forest, queen of peace in the sea, queen of peace in the desert, queen of peace, enter me, queen of peace in the forest.
Hey everyone, welcome. So good to see you. Hi to everyone who's waving. Let's just come across the screens. Hi to Lisa Precious there, and Roseanne. Can't say hello to everyone. Debbie's waving. Shelley Shine, hi. Hello. On to page 3. Got James and Brian Smith is here. Be nice to speak to you later, Brian, if you want to come on the call. And Simon Carter, and yeah, so nice to see so many familiar faces. So that intro music was Queen of Peace by NALINI Blossom, I think. And I felt very called to play that this morning because I was walking in the forest with Kobe, and then I came home and did some radical self-care. I was inspired by Laura on our rising eco community, rising at Fallinge Farm eco community, to do some radical self-care this morning, juicing beetroot and carrot and ginger. So anyway, here we are, and welcome to another session. Just feeling the need to have a bit of self-care and compassion, having been quite sort of savagely attacked actually over the past week, and we're headed into the dark of the moon. Tomorrow's a new moon in Taurus, and I was just reflecting actually about this whole persecutor, victim, rescuer drama triangle, you know, that we're part of, and how important it is that we have to transcend this. We have to find a way to stop the fight and the flight, and to shift into a different modality, which is much more nourishing and loving and supporting and kind. And, you know, we are amidst globally a giant Karpman drama triangle with these big bad bullies, the persecutor. And, you know, we don't have to be the helpless victims. We don't have to be the helpless victims. We can say, no, thank you very much, and choose a different way of being on this planet. We don't have to go with the plan that they are trying to bulldoze through for us. So strongly believe that. And I know so many people are going back to nature, joining in local community, just going back to the land, going back to basics, you know, Queen of Peace, essentially tuning back into nature and Gaia. That is where the healing is. That's where the medicine is. And, you know, let technology be our servant, not our master. You know, these are all themes that are coming through strongly for me. I haven't been making many individual videos at all because I've been pouring all of my energy into creating the rising community at Fallinge Farm, the eco community. So it's like, it really is like bringing a ship into dock, really. That feels like, or some kind of light ship landing. Anyway, I'm going to just open with a poem which was posted on my group this morning when I sent the reminder. So let this be our invocation. And it was sent to me by Zoe K. So I don't know if you're on the call, Zoe. She said she came across this in her 1987 diary, and it's by David Spangler. Now, I'd never heard of David Spangler, but he is actually a theosophist, kind of spiritual writer who moved to Findhorn, interestingly, Findhorn in Scotland in 1970. And he was one of the founders of the New Age movement. I know New Age has got a bit of a kind of bad name, but that's actually the background. And when I saw this, I thought this is a beautiful thing to read to you, to us, for us, to just bring us to the center. And then we'll come to you. I'll come to you, whoever wants to speak. Okay. When righteousness declines and wickedness is strong, in the dying of an age, as a new age comes along, that is when I rise again, and yet again to light the flame of truth within the sons of men. I am light, I am truth, I am the fire of the sun, I am the hope of all the earth, the spirit of the one. When men have lost their way and know not where to turn, and the future seems to end where the fires of hatred burn, then let me look within to see the rising of my flame, of love to light the way again. I am love, I am truth, I am the power of the sun, I am the light within all men, the spirit of the one. So there we go. So thank you to Zoe K for that, for dropping that one in, that little gift. So I thought I'd pass that gift on to you. Okay, so who would like to come on the call? I tell you what, let's check in with Ray Savage.
How are you doing, Rachel? Hi, everyone. Yeah, very, very well. The farm is still at a delicate stage of going through the transition to its new ownership, which I'm very sort of upbeat about. But we're in really a delicate stage of barristers talking, and yeah, and that's where we are. I'm with a friend in the Stroud area. This friend actually has come down from Seaford. He was talking on Saturday at a conference in Manchester, the Freedom Conference, Freedom Network Group, which seemed to be growing all over the country, and that was beautiful. We were reflecting on the amazing march in London, and you know, people were sort of calling it a protest, and I felt it was such a celebration of our freedom, our claiming our freedoms, and yeah, we sort of we sat in that energy, and so all good from here, and all very positive, and seeing a much brighter future, as I feel we've really numerically and in many ways turned the corner, turned into a very much more positive place. But obviously we've got things to transit through. But that poem I heard quite a long time ago, having visited Findorn from David, and I thought was what a beautifully apt way to open up today. So thank you, Rachel, for your tireless efforts.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks for coming on and opening the call. Yes, I mean, you know, I really feel with all of us who are attempting to do this kind of creating eco communities, for example, it's like we've got one foot in the 3D and one foot in the 5D, trying to bridge those two worlds. It's quite a challenge. But yes, we remain focused and committed. I'm asking you to unmute, Brian, so I'll leave that invite open, and let's come to Lorraine.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. And thank you, Rachel. I haven't been on for a couple of weeks. I just wanted to mention, and I'm very worried about it. My sister lives in Kuwait, and I mean, she's lived there many years with all her family. And they have now said that anyone that doesn't leave before the 21st of May can't leave. But they're also saying that everyone has to have the jab. So she is in a really difficult position because she wants to get out of Kuwait. She doesn't want to have the jab, but she's got grandchildren and obviously children working there. And I wonder if this is some way of, you know, focusing maybe on smaller countries. I mean, Kuwait is a very, they don't have things like protests, and they're quite a compliant society. And, you know, I don't know whether this is just to ramp up the fear, whether they've got some sort of quota, but, you know, this is such a short period of time before people can leave. And I wonder if this is something that they're going to sort of introduce to smaller countries where it's not going to get much exposure. But of course, as we know, these things happen and then they expand to bigger and bigger countries. So I am very concerned. I mean, I know there's nothing I can do about it, but basically, you know, they're just either locked down with no idea of when they could get out, or indeed if they leave Kuwait, when they will be able to come back.
Well, yeah, Lorraine, I mean, it feels to me that this is kind of, it's turning to just bulldoze bullying now.
Yes, yes.
And it's a sign that it's not working.
They're getting desperate.
Yeah, I think it's a sign that they are getting absolutely desperate. Now, it's quite interesting because if you saw the recent Hugo Talks
I did
video about Holly Willoughby and all
yes.
of the comments, it was like every comment was negative towards her, which was a really interesting thing. And I just think that people are now really starting, the ones who haven't fallen in with the program.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to realize the penny's starting to drop.
Yes.
This is all a little bit odd for, you know, that this is being bulldozed through.
Yeah. I think the thing is, because it's obviously not many people know about Kuwait, it's a very westernized environment. It's not like Saudi or anything like that. Most people have been educated in the West there. But it's, you know, it would just go under the radar. And I mean, obviously they're getting their agenda from higher beings, no doubt America. They've got to have a certain quota vaccinated, and the rest are scare tactics to, well, just force people into being vaccinated. And all we can do is just keep fighting.
Well, I don't like that word fighting, because,
well, yes, I don't mean it in literal sense, but yeah.
I feel we have to keep visioning and pouring energy into the world we do want. And this old system of power over quite masculine bullying, and this isn't against men, but it is a masculine energy. This is what needs to be unplugged at the deepest level. And that's the interesting thing about that poem. It is all about this igniting this rising fire. And it is about this truly is, and I've really been tuning in deeply to this because it's come up in our eco community. This truly is about bridging and creating a healing space for the masculine, and that's the masculine within women and with men, to move from the unevolved patriarchal power over energy into the evolved Christ consciousness, Krishna's consciousness, that heart-centered energy. And so many beautiful men are there already, but so many men are stuck in that old power over regime, and all of these governments are stuck in that power over. I mean, just look at sorry, I'm going to go off on my soapbox now, but just look at Keir Starmer and the Labour Party and that whole, I mean, it's all part of the same energy. This has to be unplugged, transmuted, alchemized at the deepest level now, and it starts on the inner planes, planes.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Thank you for and everyone. Okay,
let's come to Peter Sands.
Hi everyone, namaste. There is lots going on across the planet. I have so much to tell you all of my family and our spiritual mission here on earth and who we are. We were at the first protest in London in August, and we contacted our specific entities that are with us, and who my son Charlie is, the baby, who is now 11 months, and what he's here for, along with my wife and with my son Leonard, who's 12 years old, who was a Blu-ray starseed. And there is so much to tell. If anybody's interested, including yourself, Rachel, we have news of everything that's happening and of the future of Earth. And it's very hard to believe, but we were on this incredible mission way back before Charlie was born. His second name is Vishnu, for whom he is. You could check that out. And for whom my son Leonard is. There is so much to tell, but there is no time. And it's all really pretty much written in all the books of all histories of all spiritual stuff forever, for the last 2,500 years. And especially what Dolores Cannon has been saying about the new Earth 5D ascension. Raise your vibration and leave negativity and wars. And unfortunately, this specific plane, as we've been told, will eventually down the line be imploded. And those who stay will live their karma and be part of this dimension 3-4D and look around what's happening in the world. A year and a half almost down the line, everything is being turned out what's been said all these years and what's been told by the celestial beings of all the gurus of all the planets. And basically the whole of the universe right now, of all the universes, of infinite universes, is watching this moment for the separation, for humanity to leave to the 5th dimension. So there is so much to tell. If anyone is interested in any more, then maybe you could speak to my son Leonard here, who is a Blu-ray starseed and knows everything about everything. He could see all your spirit guides. His third eye is open completely. He's in contact with above every single day and night, along with my wife Jovi, for what she holds for the 5th dimension ascension. I thank you for listening to that. There is so much more that you need to know. And, you know, we belong to the Connecting Consciousness with Simon Parkes. All what they're saying is correct. But unfortunately, when you go on Connecting Consciousness, they still talk, unfortunately, about this plane, which we're all living on right now. But you need to be focusing on the 5th dimension, because eventually down the line, sadly, this, as we've been told, will finish. But unfortunately, there's too many people out there who are not listening to their spiritual side. They're listening to the earth plane that is basically, you know, imploding on itself.
Yeah.
I thank you for listening. Thank you, Rachel.
Yes. Thanks for sharing that, Peter. I've always said that the solution, I feel, is a higher dimensional one, a higher vibrational one. It's an
Absolutely
metaphysical solution. It's not going to be solved with the same problem, with the same energy that created it.
And Lenny knows all about you, by the way, everything about you. He channels all of you, and he can see all your spirit guides, who you are.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
You can say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Say something to them.
Most of you all lived 4 lives, 3 and 2 and 1. Basically, half of the pages are a spirit game.
He is a Blu-ray starseed. He's second on his planet.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And there's so much more to say.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks for coming on and sharing. And
Namaste, and love to you all. Raise your vibrations and leave.
Right, who should we? Let's come to a few. Oh, there's. let's come to. I'm going to come to some more men, actually, without wishing to be sexist here. Let's come to John Golby, and then Roger Manners is waving frantically as well. So let's give the men a little stage. Hi, John.
Hi everyone. I haven't attended for a while, but this is the first time I've actually spoken. So I'm going to be bouncing around a few topics. So yeah, my difficulty this last 15 months or so has been about finding balance, about raising my vibration versus fighting the 3D world. But I finally think that I'm sort of changing and learning that approach. But I'm also working with Dan on the pandemic podcast on what we can do here and now. But for 15 months, I haven't seen my mother, and she's called me all sorts of names, and it's my fault people are dying. But I've changed my vibration to one of love rather than shouting and anger that I've been in for quite a while. And she's now starting to look for the first time at stuff I'm sending her. I sent her an amazing interview with Nick Hudson from Panda, and while he disagrees with some of it, she agrees with some of it, and that's a massive change. But more on the physical plane, I'm moving to actually a semi-rural area near Stroud. I was there with my partner last week, and we the victims of mask bullying for the first time. I mean, I've never worn a mask, but I live in London at the moment, and I'm thinking of suing the pub landlord for discrimination. But am I just feeding into it by doing this, or part of me thinks I need to teach them the law? But yeah, the words you said, I'm love, I'm truth, I am, I'm connected. I'm starting to get a lot more that way rather than the anger and shouting. But I'm also thinking on pragmatic lines, how to get out of their systems. So I'm looking to, desperately sell London places and invest in precious metals, grow my own vegetables, non-fiat currency ways of paying. Yeah, so I just thought I'd get a few things out there. So my thing is about finding a balance between, the spiritual side and what I can do actively and pragmatically, on this sort of earth plane. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, thank you, John. That is the challenge, isn't it? Of, because it's easy when you're away from all of that, and then when you step into the towns or the cities or the pubs, and then you come up against the system, and that's when it all goes to problems. Like, yeah, I've had 2 mask bullying incidents in the past 10 days or so, and it's just really not nice, Anyway, I have a lot of compassion with that, John. Okay, thank you for coming on, and let's see if Roger's still waving. Let's come to you, Roger. Oh, Brian's still there as well. Roger, I've asked you to unmute, and Brian, maybe you can come on next. I'm asking you to unmute, but you do have to unmute yourself. I can't do it for you.
I've unmuted myself.
Hi, Roger.
Hi, Rachel. Are you okay?
I'm hanging in there, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for everything you're doing. I just wanted to give a report on my correspondence with my MP. Her name is Rachel Maskey. I wrote to her about a month ago, and I made her aware of all the deaths which were being recorded on the MHRA website, the government's website.
Yeah.
I made her well aware of the number of deaths, post-vaccination. And I asked her if she would bring this to the House, so that everybody knows about this, because I don't know, they just seem to be ignorant of it. Anyway, she just sent me an acknowledgement, and I waited and waited. I waited 2 weeks, and I sent her another email, which was headed murder, which it technically isn't, I don't know. I know that, but the point is, it's a significant kind of word that would, bring some attention. And I told her that because she is now fully aware of the deaths that are occurring, because she's got the figures from the government's own website, she could be complicit. If there are Nuremberg type trials, she could be complicit, in this
Yes.
unlawful killing. Anyway, I got a reply today, and she said that she's going to bring it to the House. So we'll see. So I'm just letting everybody know, because if they do a similar thing with their MP, it could have some positive effects.
Wow, well done for your tenacity there, Roger. I gave up writing to my MP a long time ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think really why she's probably reacted was because I said she could be complicit, in this crime which is going on.
Yeah, maybe it's time for me to write mine another one too, along the similar lines. No, I did a video called 21st Century Nuremberg Trials, which was all about that.
I know.
And it will, and this is the thing, is that, you see, they're in a difficult position. You think about it from their point of view, the people who are behind this and the politicians, they're a long way into this game, and their only way out is to complete it.
Yeah,
In
I
truth,
understand that.
their only way out is to bulldoze it through and complete on it, because if they stop now, they will be accountable and held for the Nuremberg trials. And that is the very stark reality that we're now facing. They don't have a choice but to bulldoze it through and complete on the plan. That's my sense.
Yeah, well, my main concern now is they've started injecting children with this concoction.
Oh yeah, it's an outrage.
Well, it is, and I got information. I'm a member of a particular website. I get information through from all over the world. And 2 children have died post-vaccination in America, from one from the Pfizer and one from the Moderna vaccine. So there are 2 children, aged 1 and 2. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to tell as many people as possible about this. It's verifiable. It's on the CDC's, you know what that means, I presume.
Yes. Yeah,
Centre
no,
for
I'm
Disease
totally aware of it. I'm on those Telegram channels. I see the reports of people's feet exploding with blood clots and all the rest of it. It's horrific how this can be going through, how this can be being bulldozed through with everything that's going on is shocking. It's absolutely shocking. So I'm asking Brian again if he wants to speak.
Hello.
Hey,
hooray! Made it. I thought I was muted your end. You are amazing. Thank you so much for helping, Rachel. You give me hope and faith in humanity. I am not alone. Yes, I love the idea that you are doing a project. Me here, I should be stuck on my own. I'm just doing my own little things. I need to get involved big time. I think we all do.
So you've managed to extricate yourself, Brian, because tell people who may not know your story that you were sectioned under the Mental Health Act.
Yes, it's been quite challenging. Yes, I was in Woking, and yes, I come across some charities and the doctors not doing their job properly, and I had a complaint and I made a bit of noise and they sort of barred me. And yes, and then they've started saying, getting the mental health team involved, and it's been escalating. I've been doing the truth movement here, putting stuff out in my garden, going to the hill, putting out the well-being, my own truth. And yes, people haven't been liking it and they've been complaining. I've ruffled a few feathers.
Oh dear.
But yes, it was terrible actually that they can just section you like that. I have a complaint about it. I'm going for a complaint that they can just come round. I wasn't in a state, I wasn't manic, I wasn't anything. And they have been gaslighting me.
Yeah, it's bad.
It is all quite frightening, really.
Well, I'm glad that you're out now and free to speak.
Yes, they were trying to force me to sort of volunteer and to take medication. But I do the rehabilitation of Addicted Prisoners Trust, isn't it? I don't want to be taking their medication, the big pharma. I'm DNA awakened, aren't I? I can do it myself. I can rebalance myself. I do it with the breathing, with the yoga, transforming lives, upping vibration. Yes. I might have I might get a bit angry, but I channel it now, don't I? Yes, you can't buy into anger because it shuts off your thinking. It gets you into all sorts of trouble. So you have to keep your cool. There is a time for anger, but you've got to channel it. As soon as you show a bit of anger, they can come and hit you hard.
Yeah.
Saying that you've been breaking the law. But I was at I was at the walk in London on the 24th, and there was amazing energy there. And that's the way it's got to be. And I'm looking forward to the 15th and getting a lot more people to come to up the vibration and have the sort of festival, the music, the arts, the crafts, the well-being coming back into humanity, into consciousness.
Yeah. Yes, Thank you, Brian, and it's good to see you. So yeah,
All I can be is the best I can be and put out good energy.
yeah,
And I do that by not telling people what to do or telling people, but just showing the way, leading the way, and having reasonable conversations and leading people to their own conclusions.
yes, brilliant, Brian. Yeah, unfortunately, the lunatics are running the asylum at the moment, aren't they?
They are big time. They are big time. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But they have been for quite some time. They've been pulling it apart for quite some time, Rachel.
Yeah,
You know it. The truth is out.
yeah,
The pineal gland. And we are all awake now. We need to do the community projects. You were saying that you had a community project
yeah,
doing the water engineering,
yeah. Fab.
growing the
Brian.
abundant food.
Yes, that is, yes. Eco communities, local communities, absolutely. Solidarity and joining together in numbers, stand in the park.
I think that's the way it's got to
Yeah.
be, Rachel,
We have
because
to.
I think, you know, like the supply lines will start breaking down.
Yeah.
They're
that's
not going
the
to give
thing.
up without a fight, are they?
No,
We need
that's
to
true.
be growing the food ourselves. We need to get our animals back. We need to get back into nature. I have a garden here. There is plenty for us to do that we can do for ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to get the free energy as well, isn't it? One way or another. There's loads of different ways we can do it. And the new technologies are just mind-blowing what is possible. It has just been kept from us, Rachel.
Yeah,
And
I
you
agree.
know that.
I agree, Brian. Okay, I'm going to mute you back if that's okay. Lots
Thank
of
you
love.
very much for having me on. You are
Yeah.
amazing and you've got a lovely smile. I love your energy. You are glowing. Thank you.
Oh, let's just see who's on the screens. Actually, let's just, because we've got 96 people on now, and so good to see so many of you. Just going across. Deborah, do you want to speak? Got your hand up patiently there.
Hello. Oh, it's so lovely to be in this forum, honestly, with all these like-minded people and me to contribute in some way. So yeah, where I am at with this, well, I'm drinking my nettle tea. I've been told that it's good for a skin rash. I have been around vaccinated people. Some people say my leg rash might be related.
Yes.
It is quite sore, but it is going down, but it's not very nice at all. And nettle tea has been the thing that's been, people have said in a few places. So that's one thing. I am pretty much not speaking to my sister. Yeah, she wanted me to take the flow test to go and visit my nephew and niece. And with the impending September date of children, I mean, they're 11 and 14, so they might not be in the age range, I'm not sure, but who knows what will be bulldozed through. And so I think I'm not going, because I think I want to say enough is enough, and basically we've got complete shutdown in communication over this topic. She's completely brainwashed and in fear and anger and everything. She's really personally abused me as well. In her, you know, she basically said, "You're mad, and yeah, you've got a problem, sort it out." So I went, "Okay, I will sort it out," and so I need to back off, because Auntie Debs has got no say at all in what decision they make. She will think about it, she said, but I really need to back off with the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's going on. So I went running around Putney area looking for stands in the parks on Sunday for someone to talk to, although I have got lots of people to talk to. I'm also rang up somebody on Tuesday looking at eco communities and places to go and live in the mountains in northern Spain and how I would do it. You know, I'm thinking about all these things.
Yeah.
And then I had a walk with a guy who, he's really in a bad way about how he sees everything, and he feels he's been told by a guide he's been infected by this whatever it is, bioweaponry, and he's got to who's now moving away from his parents who've been vaccinated to Devon. And yeah, we were just talking about truce. What is truce? You know, because I basically said, go out in nature and be in stillness and find your own truce. Because, you know, I'm at this point thinking, well, what is truce? What is my truce? And, you know, my dad's trying to ask me for answers, and actually we've all got our own experience. And so what is our experience and that we want to actually create? And because we're all one big consciousness, so if we can just create our own experience, then that can sort of lift the whole collective consciousness. Because it's Peter, I think someone was saying about imploding on ourselves. I think that was quite a good point to say that, and how we can sort of get out of that by some, you know, because consciousness is observing ourselves. So how can we sort of reset ourselves by our consciousness? And I think that's how was helping him yesterday, and I'm thinking that's how we need to do it.
Yep. Thank you, Deborah. Thanks for coming on, and sorry to hear about your family rift, but it's the same story. I'm hearing it all the time from so many people, and it is a divide and conquer strategy, and it's so sad what is being done, and most people aren't even aware of it. Yeah. Okay, thanks for coming on. I've just noticed Dee Sunshine is on the call. Dee, do you want to come and say something? Come on live on the call. Just asked you to unmute wherever you are.
Hello.
Hi.
Hiya. How are you?
Can you put your video on?
I don't know what's happening. I'm a bit sort of new to Zoom.
Oh, well, never mind.
Okay. But you can hear me, yes?
Yes,
So
I can hear you.
It's been very interesting. And just what you're saying about families being divided, I'm struggling with that as well, because my little sister, who has nothing wrong with her at all, and her husband have decided to get vaccinated. And I am mind blown about it, absolutely mind blown. My mother got vaccinated, and I totally understand that, because she's got like really bad heart condition and lung condition and all the rest of it, and she's 83 years old. But for my 51-year-old sister to get vaccinated, yeah, it's really tough.
Wow. And how are you doing, Dee?
Me, I'm fantastic. I'm absolutely fantastic. I've just moved up towards Findhorn. I'm about a mile away from Findhorn. I've bought myself a little caravan.
Oh, that's nice. So just to fill everyone on the call in, Dee is an old flame of mine. That was our first trip, wasn't it? We went up to Findhorn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So nice to see you on the call, Dee.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, and interesting you're up there living there. It burnt down actually, didn't it? Or didn't someone set fire to the central buildings at Findhorn a couple of weeks ago?
3 days before I arrived.
Yeah.
3 days before I arrived. And I thought, oh my God, is that a sign or what?
Well, it's a sign the sunshine's arriving.
Yeah.
Solar flares.
Yeah, somebody actually committed arson. It was they burned down the community centre, which is like the main hub of the community, and they also burned down the sanctuary. I don't know if we went in to meditate in there. It was a beautiful.
Yes, we did.
Golden chairs all around.
We did.
I was upset about that being burned down, because that's was such a beautiful building. And I have no idea what their plans are about, whether they're going to build something similar or what. But it had this amazing energy, because when I lived there originally, about 25 years ago, Eileen Caddy, who was one of the co-founders, she would religiously come up and join the community meditations every single day, and you could feel the vibration of this wee woman. You know, she was an amazing wee woman. I loved her, absolutely loved her. And so it's really sad that that vibration has been kind of wiped out, you know.
Yeah. Okay, Dee, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, this fire energy. Well, going back to what I was saying about this masculine, because obviously fire is yang masculine, and there's this sort of unevolved yang masculine fire, which just burns the whole place down and creates wars. But then there's this beautiful evolved masculine grandfather fire energy, which is alchemy, it's pure alchemy. So it's like that transmutation of that fire energy into this beautiful alchemical flame. That's the potential. Okay, who else would like to come on? Start waving to me. Barbara Morgan.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak. I've got a couple of very specific questions to ask. It's lovely to be on here. I've been on here several times, and yeah, I write a lot on the chat, and I get a lot of support from the chat. So thank you for that, everybody. So my first very specific question is, I was with somebody who was vaccinated on Thursday. It's a friend, and I went around for dinner, and I'm somebody who never gets ill. I haven't been to a doctor since my daughter was born 40 years ago, and I don't get ill. And I came away with this huge pain in my stomach, and I don't know, I thought first of all maybe it was food poisoning, but I don't know if this is one of the symptoms of being with someone who's been vaccinated. So I just want to put that out to the group and see if anyone has had any similar experiences in line with that. And the other question I want to ask on behalf of my friend who may not get to be able to speak is, she's going to have her cataracts removed from her eyes, and she's going to hospital very soon, and she's being forced to have the PCR test. And is there anything that she can do in terms of, you know, standing up for herself in relation to having an operation that she desperately needs, and them coercing her into having the PCR test? So those are my two questions.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone who's registered for these calls gets the chat log afterwards, just to say. So if you've got solutions, then please put them in the chat. Yeah, I think my feeling, knowing other people who are having to negotiate the NHS at the moment, this has to be the worst possible time to feel, you know, to have to avail yourself into the hands of the NHS, I would say. So thank you for coming on. Thanks, Barbara. And please, yeah, if people have got solutions for Barbara, put them in the chat box.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's come to, is it Aoife Brewster? I'm sure there's a special way to say that. I can see you've been...
Hi, Rachel. Yeah, I wondered if that's why you hadn't picked me, you couldn't say my name.
How do you say your name?
Aoife. It's Irish name.
Aoife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, just
What were you cooking there, Aoife? I saw you're cooking something.
Oh, I'm making dinner. I've got a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, and I'm starting work in about an hour. So I always listen to your stuff, and I'm cooking potato wedges, sweet potato wedges, and chops.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been on, I think I've seen everything of yours right from the beginning. And thank you, it's been really nice. Yeah, been going through a lot. I've never spoken. I'm out in Portugal, so if anyone's in Portugal, it'd be really nice to connect. I've had a little bit of a thing the last few weeks. I've got teenagers in school. They did a COVID test without my consent in the school for them to start back at school. So I went in, and there is some little groups. I was going to say to someone, they were asking, was it about Croatia? There's got to be little groups of lawyers and people. That's what I did here in Portugal, and I found a few little groups of lawyers that are helping people. And they sent me the Caderneta de Minutos, which has, if you don't want to wear a mask, if you don't want the kids to have the test, if they do the tests without lots and lots and lots of forms, it's like 90 pages. So that's been really useful. I went to the school. They said they'd get back to me. They tried to say that my daughter lied and she did the consent form herself. And I said, well, that's funny because I've got the consent form at home. And I said, well, I'd like, they said, oh, well, there's another consent form. We gave her 2 forms. And I said, okay, well, you find the other consent form. And they said, oh, you need to ring the lab. Bear in mind, I'm not fluent in Portuguese. I'm about 80%. So I rang the lab. They said, no, it's to do with the school. Then I said to the school, I rang them. I said, you need to find the consent form. And here's my phone number, and I'll get back to me with it. As over 10 days had gone past. So I went in this morning, and the head director of the school said, if you want to carry on this line. And I went, yes, no, I just want to see the consent form because I don't know what, I do not consent to this. And I need to know that you're not going to do things with my children that I'm not consenting to, because I'm also having a problem with my kids that they think I'm a conspiracy theorist, they think I'm mad, and they just want to go along with the narrative. So that's quite a challenge. Yeah. And there's literally, I live in rural Portugal, and there's literally 3 other mums that I can talk to about it. I'm like, I come from a very alternative New Age traveller family, and lots of my friends I thought were very out of the box, and I've realised that they're all so close. It's actually really shocked me. Really shocked me.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of peer pressure. I know with my 2 younger sons who are still at school, like they want a quiet life, so just going along with it. And of course I don't consent to anything, but their father does. So that's another battle, because he wants them to, you know, be vaxxed to the max. And then of course I'm a bad mother for not going along with it, because I don't care about their health. This is the way they twist it, you know. So it's really
to stop the numbers. That's all my friends go, but we need to do it for the numbers. I'm like, yeah, what one of my friends who's very wide awake, I'm a clinical massage therapist, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the vaccination people that I've been treating as well. But one of them said to me, she lives very near the cemetery, and for the last 1.5 years she's been wide awake from before it even started. And she said, I keep checking the cemetery, there's no more people in there. Like, this was when her little council was apparently at massive high risk, nobody could leave. And she's going, there's no bodies there. There is no bodies. It's like, okay, you know, maybe we might have the vaccine if there was people dropping down on the road, you know. But yeah, vaccinated people, I haven't been sick for over 1 year. None of my family have been sick. None of my friends have really been sick, the odd little cold or something. I started treating vaccinated people. I have been so sick for the last 2 weeks. First ones, if they've had the vaccine within 2 weeks, I'm wearing gloves. And the thing what they do is they walk in and go, oh, I've had my vaccine, can I take my mask off? And I go, no, you can't. You need to have it more now, because it doesn't stop you transmitting it, and it doesn't stop you getting it. And I haven't been vaccinated. And then I get quite a lot of challenge. There's a lot of an expat community here, and I was challenged at a car boot sale at the weekend. She said, so look what I got. They're showing off your arm. Oh, look what I got, my vaccine. And she looked me straight in the eye and she went, will you do the vaccine? And I said, well, I'm not in the right age group, so I won't be offered it yet. I'll have to wait until all of your age group is gone. But will you? And I went, well, I'll wait until it's out of its experimental stage before I make any decisions. And her face was like, ooh.
Well done.
Yeah.
And
going to, on the 15th, I'm going to Lisbon. I didn't go last time. I'm actually going to take my 17-year-old with me this time. I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to get violent before I took my daughter. So she's going to come. She wants to come. The younger one doesn't want to come.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's mute you back, and let's just come to the screens and see who else we've got on. Who else wants to come on the call? Janine, do you want to speak? You're waving.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Hi. Hello.
Yes. Hi, I'm from Australia.
Oh, hi, Janine. What time is it there in Australia?
10 o'clock at night.
Ah, nice.
I love your Zoom meetings, Rachel. I've listened to everyone, so it's really nice to be part of them. Thank you. I have a poem. I thought it was appropriate with all that beautiful poem that you read out earlier. So I might read this one out.
Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah. It's called I Have Faith. It's just a little poem that I wrote. We're in the midst of absolute madness around, with craziness, fear, and absurd ignorance to astound. The average person completely unaware that there's been a hidden agenda planned with care. People ignorant of everything they've heard, news completely unbalanced and any truth slurred. The continual chip has worn the stone of morals, decency, and basic love alone. The breakdown of goodness and history of nations, acknowledgement is eroded in each calibration of how good we treat each other, no matter class or colour, religion, intelligence, and disabled cared for with valour. The elitist media, intent on its course to hide good and stir hatred, division, and remorse, becoming more desperate every day with outlandish claims and misused data per se. Science is untrusted and true figures omitted to show, to keep elite in power and their money still flow. Sheepies all watch telly and don't question their motive and gladly just swallow their propaganda corrosive. But there's something big happening around the world, gaining momentum like a bushfire smokes that furl. We are at the crossroads. How many lives will be lost? It's up to the individual to spread the word at all cost. Bit by bit, people beginning to awake, the wool pulled from eyes, cancerous wokeness at stake. It's like a breath of fresh air that's not even bought, that's infiltrating everyone's subconscious thought. There's something more powerful than we are all aware. It's happening regardless, even if we don't care. Faith will prevail. It is prearranged. The universe poised on the brink of great change. Rachel's the first with our community Zooms. We all await and watch as the cabal fall looms. Their evil agenda will stumble and fall as more people unite and stand with love for all.
Oh, Janine, that's a beautiful poem. And thank you so much, because we're just coming up to the end. So I think that's a wonderful note to end the call on. So I really appreciate you coming in and beaming in from Australia. Isn't that wonderful that we've got someone on the other side of the planet with connecting in with you there.
We all feel connected when they're with you all together there, Rachel. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, lots of love. Thank you so much for coming on. Okay, that's wonderful. So I'm going to just come back to the screens. It's 1 o'clock. So goodbye to everyone, and thank you all for coming on. Let's just end with a wave. I'm just going to come across the screens and just see who we've got. We've actually got 94 people on now. So I'm sorry I couldn't get to more people. And I really appreciate you all coming on and sharing and being part of this, and yeah, holding the resistance to what is going on. So sending you all so much love. And yeah, I have so much faith that together we will emerge from this. A whole new golden era will emerge from the shit show that's currently unfolding. And you know, we're the pioneers of holding that light and love. Okay, lots of love. Bye for now.
Queen of peace in the forest, queen of peace in the sea, queen of peace in the desert, queen of peace, and to me, queen of peace in the the forest, queen of peace in the sea, queen of peace in the desert, queen of peace and to me. Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, queen of peace in the forest, queen of peace in the sea, queen of peace in the desert, queen of peace and to me, queen of peace in the forest, queen of peace in the sea, queen of peace in the desert, queen of peace and to me. Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia, Maria, Sophia. Queen of peace in the forest, queen of peace in the sea, queen of peace in the desert, queen of peace and to me, queen of peace in the forest,